Hey guys, and welcome back to another episode of your Brains Coach podcast. My name is Angela Shurina. I'm your host, I'm your Brains Coach, and it is my job here to bring to you all the best, recent, most effective, cutting edge, most useful tools, brain body tools that you can use to learn how to make yourself feel, look, and do your best to deliver your best vision of your life into this world. Guys, today, as I promised, I'm going to be sharing with you some tips, tricks, hacks, and different strategies to do your best when you get to do public speaking. And folks, if you learn how to become a great communicator and bring great experience, not just information, nobody needs more information, but great experience to this stage, to any event, any class, any workshop, anything that you decide to do publicly with a group of people, when you learn how to deliver great experience to people, your life, business, every single aspect of your work going to be transformed and going to expand and going to explode. I'm yet on my way there, and I'm learning how to communicate better. I'm learning how to show up better. I'm learning how to bring experience, not just information, because again, nobody needs information. Information is boring and not even remembered or used unless we change people's state, unless we make it memorable, unless we make it fun and novel and entertaining. So I'm on my way to becoming better at bringing the experience, not just the knowledge or skills. And I mastered a lot of things about my own state, so I can deliver my speech even when microphone stops working and presentation doesn't work, a clicker doesn't work. Actually, all of that happened yesterday at different times throughout my presentation. So not only that, I realize I still need to get some work done that, but also learning again how to bring the best possible experience, how to manage the flow of energy, how to form my content and interaction with the audience so people retain the information and they remember the skills, they practice what they learn, and they improve their life as a result. So that's what I'm working on. And later, well, probably actually next year, I'm going to dedicate more time to learning, to mastering communication skills, workshop leadership skills, and all related skills of communication, so I could become a more impactful speaker. Because for me, and I believe for anyone who does any work and wants to help people, wants to change the world in some way, it's very important to have an effect on people, not just, get the information out of yourself, but to actually help people, to impact people, to transform people. And that requires a lot of work on our communication skills. And I put a lot of work in over the years. So if we take an average person who never gave any public talks or never worked on their communication skills, and we take a top speaker who delivers really memorable, exciting, entertaining, educating experience, I'm probably somewhere in the middle. And I want to get a lot more closer to becoming one of the top performers, because whether we want it or not, speaking, educating, interacting with people is a performance. And if we have a specific goal, like transferring some skills, we need to become better at performing, at teaching, at communication, and all the related skills, like, for example, using metaphors to explain more complex concepts or strategies. Metaphors in general, I read a couple of articles a couple of days ago, just a side note. And it was in Psychology Today, a really great publication online about everything related, I guess, to psychology. And I read a couple of articles about metaphors and how using different metaphors actually changes the way people act on information. Like, for example, if you use a word journey, helping someone to transform as a coach or an educator, or even when it was communicated as a journey to cancer patients, their process of recovering, hopefully. When you communicate it as a journey, people are more positive, more motivated to continue the journey, even with all the challenges, even with all the failures or setbacks. And also, if you coach someone and you frame their new skills as a journey of becoming, someone new, of getting someone new, but you frame it as a journey, they are much more likely to continue working on those skills and retaining those skills instead of going backwards to their old ways. So if you frame the journey of coaching, of transformation, as a journey instead of, well, we're just going to hit the goal, this is the destination, we're going to arrive and then the life will continue, I guess. But if you frame it more as a destination, as a goal to hit, as a target, then people are much, much less motivated to continue after the goal is hit. Maybe that's why so many people also slide back to their old ways when losing weight, because we set it as a target, as a goal to hit. And once we hit it, we okay, that's done, right? We can now go back to our old ways. So even for yourself, frame all the transformations, new skills that you acquire as a journey to becoming a new version of yourself, developing your business, your career, your vision. Frame it as a journey, and you'll be more motivated to continue. And also, you're going to be much more positive and tolerant towards different setbacks on your way. So that's kind of a side note. So public speaking, what do I usually do to make sure that at least my biology functions and my brain has all its memory at its working capacity, that my brain works well, that it's creative, that I'm feeling confident, that I'm feeling energized, that no matter what, I can continue and finish, and I also am present and have a smile on my face, and I'm more interactive with the audience instead of, again, just reading or saying out loud things that I memorized before. Each morning, almost every morning anyhow, I start with exercise. But on the morning that I need to give a public talk, deliver a workshop, deliver a class, I make sure that there is some movement in my day, that I do some workout. And usually I try not to make it the hardest workout, because your body is a holistic system and you have limited amount of resources. So if you leave it all on the workout floor and you don't have anything left and you feel tired and fatigued, it actually can negatively affect your performance at the workshop. So yes, do the workout, do the movement, break the sweat, but don't overdo it. Here, shorter workouts like 10-minute high-intensity training or even a faster walk do much better than all-out workout. So first, do move, because it changes your brain chemistry profoundly. Not only it improves blood circulation, oxygenation, delivery of all nutrients to your brain. Not only that, but it also changes your brain chemistry in terms of brain molecules, neurotransmitters, those messengers that help our neurons to communicate. So we have dopamine, endorphins, and serotonin and adrenaline, all of these molecules that help you to feel confident and powerful and energized and creative and optimistic and more present and like taking more risks. When you give a talk, when you give a workshop, there's always going to be that moment when you feel like, maybe I should do that. And I want to try that in my interaction and see how that works out. It feels right. And when you're more confident and you're in that state when you feel more risk tolerant, you're going to take that risk. And those moments actually going to lead to breakthroughs in your audience and in your personal development. So when you're in that state of confidence, of energy, powerful, feeling like taking risks, you're more likely to say yes to those moments. And this usually leads to a completely different journey, not the one that you planned. So exercise, it's a brain booster. It changes your brain-body chemistry profoundly. So it's really beneficial to get some movement in before your big day, before your stage day, or even if it's online, your brain needs to perform at its top capacity. Sip some water. By the way, on water, for sure, start your day with hydration and keep yourself really, really well hydrated. Again, you need your brain at its top capacity. And even 2% dehydration will cause your brain's performance to decline. That is based on data. And 2% dehydration is not a lot. If you forget your morning water, that's already probably going to cause that. And plus the exercise and everything, do hydrate. And when you speak, your body uses more water to keep your vocal cords moistured and working optimally. So drink your water. One mistake I did this time, I drank my water half an hour before and also in the morning and throughout the day. But then during the event, and it was close to an hour, I put myself into that position that my bottle was kind of away, and also it was awkward to just go there and drink my water. So I didn't figure out the way to drink my water throughout the workshop, and I definitely felt like I was thirsty and I needed my water to deliver workshop optimally, but I just didn't. Partially because there were things with my presentation that didn't work, and then my microphone and the clicker and all of these things were happening. So that kind of, I need to make sure that my water is by my side like it is right now. So that one definitely was a lesson. So exercise, right? Exercise, hydrate. And hydration also means electrolytes. Get some salt in there, perhaps lemon juice or some electrolyte drink. Those are amazing for keeping your electricity in your brain working and all of your neurons communicating well and effectively. So water, exercise. The next thing is have your breakfast, depending on when your talk is. Mine was in the middle of the day, so I had my usual breakfast with my yogurt and my eggs and some fruit and berries, so protein, whole food carbohydrate, and I have my supplements, my B vitamins and my multivitamin. That helps a lot with brain performance. So I had my usual breakfast because it was quite long before my workshop. But then an hour before workshop, I also had protein and whole food carbohydrate, things that I knew work for me. So I specifically had a can of tuna that's about 30 grams of protein there and very lean. And I had an apple. And those carbohydrates, they work for me. I know they're not going to cause any indigestion. And I also know that they are very easy to digest. The thing about your food before performance, it has to be light enough so your blood flow doesn't end up going to your stomach. And that's why you for sure want to keep it low fat, because fat is actually one of the hardest nutrients to digest, and fat is needed. Fat is good, but right before your performance might not be the best thing you need. You need your blood glucose be stable to perform optimally, and that's why carbohydrates with fiber, so they're more long lasting. And then also you need your proteins, your amino acid, to create all the neurotransmitters in your brain, things like, again, dopamine and other neurotransmitters that make you focus, that make you creative, that make your brain also be more effective with using memory and adjusting on the go, being more cognitively flexible. So all of that carbohydrate in the form of whole food and protein. Sometimes if I don't have anything I can eat like whole food, I would get a protein shake and I would try to get a banana. That's going to be my to-go meal. And bananas, if you prepare in advance, and you should be preparing in advance, you can also pack with you. They're very easy to eat. They're very not messy. So I always recommend my clients before their public talks to have a couple of bananas just in case, and have their protein shake again, just in case. And what I personally usually do, I also have a piece of chocolate, dark chocolate, not a big piece, 10 grams, maybe 15 grams tops, because it's still on a higher fat side. But chocolate, the compounds in cacao activate all 5 neurotransmitters or brain chemicals of flow state. So we have our adrenaline, we'll have our dopamine, we have our endorphins and serotonin. So all of these molecules, anandamide, are present in flow state based on research. And the same molecule are stimulated, all of them, by eating cacao products, by consuming chocolate, or maybe adding your cacao, your natural cacao, not some fake flavoring, into your protein shake. So that helps me to get into flow state where, again, I'm more creative, I'm more adventurous, I'm more confident, I'm more powerful, I'm also more present and interactive with the audience, with the moment. So that's my secret weapon for getting into the right state physiologically and biochemically. So I usually would have that an hour, might be half an hour before my talk. And again, hydration. I make sure that before my talk, about half an hour, I have that half a liter of water actually, and then have another half a liter with me for the workshop. 1 hour, a couple of hours that will do it. And now that I learned from the experience, put it somewhere where it's not awkward to drink. And kind of also what I learned, figure out everything, like where you stand, where your water is, how you want to interact, how you want to move on the stage. Figure that out before. I haven't done a lot of public talks on stage. And so that one is still, I need to remember. And even if I have just 10 minutes or 15 minutes before the event, just stand there and figure out, okay, where I'm going to stand, how I'm going to interact, where my water going to be, where my notes going to be, where the presentation is going to be, etc. So that was the note for myself. And then also right before my stage appearance, I love to do some movement. So I usually would hide somewhere where I'm not seen and do a few squats. In this specific case, on many of my workshops, I start my workshop with movement. So people also are not falling asleep in their chairs while listening to my presentation, because it was yesterday, Africa Tech Festival. So there were a lot of different talks and panels during the event. And so some of the people were just, they kept sitting, and your brain doesn't work the best when you sit in one place. So I wanted to make sure that my audience is also alive and energized and pays attention. And what I did at the beginning of the talk, we did some movement. We did a few squats, we did a few breaths, we did a few shoulder rotations, and that was also my warm-up. And by the way, before the talk, if I can, and I always try to, I do that right before the talk as well in the bathroom. I warm up my vocal cords. So I do different sounds like and I make sure that everything in my mouth, in my vocal cords, that my instrument, so to speak, works well and it's warmed up. And it's recommended by top speech trainers and public speaking coaches and experts, because you have a tool, it's an instrument, And it works better when you are hydrated, but also when you warm it up. I do some tongue twisters, some phrases that I repeat, and some sounds to just make sure that I'm in full control as much as possible of my instrument to deliver the experience to my audience. So let's recap. In the morning, workout, some movement, not all out. Let me hydrate, by the way. Not all out, but to start things moving, break the sweat, maybe 10-15 minute workout, go for a fast walk. So you adjust your brain chemistry and also improve your blood circulation, oxygenation, all the nutrients to your brain. Then we have our breakfast. If you have a morning appearance, then just have your source of whole food carbohydrate and some protein. 20-30 grams will do that for your performance, for your mental performance. Make sure that the food is light so you're not stuffed, and definitely keep it low fat, because that again can make your digestion sluggish. And definitely do not try new foods. Try something that is familiar. That's why bananas and some protein shake might do the trick. But if it's new protein shake, also not recommended, because that's the last thing you want to do, worrying about bathroom and what's happening in your stomach. So some whole food carbohydrates, some protein source, keep it low fat. Like, I eat a piece of chocolate. I told you about it, but overall it's still quite low fat, my whole meal. So have that before your appearance. Don't forget to hydrate right when you wake up and during your workshop, during your talk. Well, if it's 15-20 minutes, obviously you might be just okay if you hydrate it right before. But drink sufficient amount of water, probably more than you need. Just make sure also that you won't have to run to the bathroom or anything like that. And move. Right before your talk, also do a few squats. Just open up your chest, your shoulders, do some stretches. Make sure that you don't have any blocks anywhere, because that energy, the audience will feel it if you're feeling stuck in your body, right? So stretch, move, and warm up your vocal cord. So look up on YouTube some warm-ups for your vocal cord that are recommended, some exercises. There are plenty of those, and they take 2-3 minutes, but it's going to make all the difference. You're going to be able to modulate your tonality and your speed better, and pronounce all the words so much better so people can actually understand you, right? It's like a warm-up at the beginning of a workout. You do it, and then all the exercises just flow so much better, and your body is just so much readier to go. And the last but not least, look around, arrive before, and make sure that you know where you're going to stand, how you're going to stand, how you're going to interact with the audience, where your water is going to go. All of that is very, very important, and it will help your brain to not worry about all of those things, and instead focus on the delivery of your message. That is very important. When you are at a high stake situation, or high pressure, or this moment of high arousal, in order to perform your best and not choke, not forget the words, not lose your train of thoughts, even though that also will happen from time to time, but to give your brain the best chance to do its best work, you want to make sure that you focus on fewer things as possible. Ultimately and ideally, on the delivery of your talk, not worrying how you look or how your suit feels or looks, or where you're going to stand, where you're going to go next, how you're going to drink your water, which I did, but also the equipment, whether it works or not. Some of those things obviously are not entirely in your control, but try to create the situation, take care of the environment, think through everything a little bit in advance. So when you are in the performance, when you're on stage, you are focused entirely, completely on the present moment and on the delivery instead of worrying about all of these things. So that's a note for myself as well. And additional note for myself that I'm sharing with you is prepare more in advance to deliver that great performance that you believe you have in you. I now realize that for smaller talks and workshops, 3 days, and for bigger ones, at least a week. Of course, if it's something like TED Talk that I'm going to give at some point, then probably a couple of weeks, 3 weeks, or maybe even in months in advance, because that's going to go online in front of millions of people. Or at least it has this possibility to be seen by millions of people. And that's it. Don't forget about my secret weapon, chocolate, 10-15 grams of 100% or as close to the darkest possible chocolate as possible to activate all the molecules that help you to induce flow state where you are able to deliver your absolute best. Plus, it's great for memory and it increases blood circulation towards your brain that helps the brain to do everything better. I hope you found these notes, these tips for doing your public speaking, your workshops useful, and you're going to use them next time. And remember, guys, your biology is an essential part of your performance. It's your instrument. And how well that instrument works will define what performance you're going to give and how much impact you are able to create and how much people will remember and use and how much their life gonna be ultimately transformed by you. So if you want to help people change, then make sure that your instrument works well and it has the capacity to deliver your best performance. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out, Angela at brainbreakthroughcoach.com, especially on the case of brain nutrition that a lot of people get wrong. And because of that, you have to spend a lot more time memorizing your speech and also your how to modulate stress. I learned that a lot of people don't know how to do that. Yes, I actually forgot to mention, right before getting on stage, I use breathwork to calm myself down because I'm usually more excited and aroused than ideal. So I do 2-3 cycles of physiological sigh. And you probably know as a continuous listener of this podcast that it's double inhale and long exhale. And that immediately brings your nervous system into calmer state that helps you to not get into your own way, to not choke and deliver your best performance. So right before I'm standing by the stage, ready to go on stage, I do a couple of cycles of this breath work, and then I'm ready to go. And sometimes if I'm in the middle and I'm feeling like my nerves are going up for whichever reason, I do that breath work right on stage, and I even share it with my audience. Always helps to connect with audience when you show your vulnerability. And that's for sure all for now. If you'd like to learn more about your biology, how to optimize it to be able to deliver your best performance on stage that can unlock all levels of your career, business, and development, then reach out, Angela at brainbreakthroughcoach.com. I'm going to teach you all the tips. Also, there is a link in the show notes for our ongoing Health 360 Reset coaching program. It's going to help you to be your absolute best, to have the most energy, the most productivity every single day, so you can create the most success every single day. It all starts with health, guys. And last but not least, please do share this podcast with as many people as possible, especially if you find it useful, and especially if you love these tips and you would love some person in your life or your audience, your friends, your peer circle to know this. Please do share. screenshot, share on WhatsApp, on other messages, Telegram, on Instagram, in threads. Please do share. It would be an amazing gift to me and to the world. Help me to help more people by spreading the news. And that's it for today. Have an awesome next performance, an amazing productive day, and I'll talk to you very soon, specifically on Friday.